There can be only one.
Well, not really. Hey, welcome back to the Lightning Cave. Hopefully you've been watching the last few weeks where I've gone from lockdown madness. I reviewed Indivisible and I reviewed Children of Morta. And this week I'm back with a fresh ass haircut. And I'm going to talk to you about two consoles which have got me through the last 7-8 weeks. And who knows for how much longer. The Switch and the PS4. The inspiration for this video just came from me looking at both the controllers sat next to each other on the sofa, and I thought to myself, for the first time since I owned a Switch at the beginning of the year, I've been playing them both the same amount of time at home. Now, it's kind of surprised me because I thought, surely all this time on the PlayStation, that'll be my only focus, but I found myself just wanting to play lots of Switch games for something completely different. So this is just going to be about my experience with the Switch, and also hopefully a bit of a suggestion to buy a Switch if you have got money still, you haven't been furloughed, and you're looking for a fun game console to play at home. I think the Switch is the one to go for at the moment. Now, obviously, the game offering is completely different. The reason I've gone to Switch recently and possibly want to play it more is because I go, right, I've had enough of playing the big AAAs which I've got on PlayStation, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, FIFA, Final Fantasy VII, Dark Souls. Those are the sorts of games I've got on my PS4. Did I say PS3 then? My PS4. And I just sometimes I just don't want to play them. The other advantage, huge advantage of Switch is the fact that you can play it anywhere, almost. When the garden's been nice, jeez, when the weather's been nice, I've been playing the Switch in the garden a lot, and just basically storming through JRPGs, which has been awesome to do. Playing JRPGs a lot in the garden, which has been awesome to do, and also like taking it to bed and just chilling out and being able to play it there. The Switch screen does have a slight glare problem, so you sometimes can't see certain games outdoors, which can be frustrating. You kind of have to hold it against the sunlight so it doesn't glare on it. But I read that that's so the screens are more durable outside, which is definitely a good thing. But I've not really found it a big issue. For example, I've been playing a lot of Octopath Traveler, and that is quite. The art style lends itself to being played outside because you can kind of see it wherever you are, because the characters and the buildings are quite white against a black background, so they kind of stand out a bit more. I do wish there was some sort of way to amend the brightness of the Switch when you're outdoors, brighter than the screen's able to go. If anyone knows how to do that, please let me know. I think you should have both consoles, which is easy to say if you have got money. I don't have a lot of money. I'm still paying off my Switch and I'm on furlough, so there you go. But there's a place for both. The PS4 has been my gaming console if I want to play with friends. If I'm like up late and I want to get a good 3 or 4 hours in, it's perfect. But sometimes I just want to jump on and play something quickly, as I will play in bed, or obviously spending a lot more time with my missus. So like watching TV and stuff has been ideal because I can still play games while she's watching Harry Bikers or whatever, and it works out really well. And also the game offering, I only really play indie games and JRPGs on the Switch. I don't really have any big games. I do now have Dark Souls remastered, and I've started another playthrough of that. Apart from that, all the games are like like the ones I've been reviewing: Octopath, Pokemon, Dandara. They're all indie platforming JRPG turn-based games, or that sort of shtick, and they work so well. And I don't think I would give these sorts of games the time I have on the PS4 because they, in my mind, don't quite stand up to these big AAAs, which is unfair. That's probably why I only play about one turn-based game a year, or even every 2 years. Over the last few years I've only probably played one a year, but now I've got like four on the go. If you don't include Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's good that it's given me another reason to explore these games that I enjoyed so much as a kid. And the other thing which is great about it is the easy co-op, So Mario Kart, for example, is so much fun on it. And it's so easy just to put on and play a few races and then get on with whatever you're doing. Sometimes you just feel like doing that, with us two in the house. It's been really fun just to kind of drink and play Mario Kart because she doesn't like any of the games on PS4. So again, that's kind of fitting nicely. And given Mario Party a go recently as well. So I just think that if you're thinking about getting one and you think, well, I'm not going to be out as much, um, going around. Since I've started driving, or since I started driving, had my Switch, I was playing it less because I wasn't on the bus. And then now I found like a new love for it at home, just being able to, like I said, play it anywhere, whenever I want, and the style of games that I've got available for it. I also want to compare the Switch to the PS Vita. No, no, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't want to do that. Although that would be a good comparison. I, I want to compare the Switch to the PSVR actually, because they're a very similar price bracket, and I went to for the PSVR first and sold it, and I haven't regretted it one day since. I think it was almost a waste of money. You look at the game offerings, they're like, oh yeah, you can get these fantastic games, and it's pretty much still the launch stuff or the couple good games that come out since, like Resident Evil 7, Astrobot, and Superhot. Like there just seems to be no new games coming out for it. Whereas you go on Switch, every day they got a new deal. There's hundreds of games available. Yes, some of them are expensive, but if you go online, you go to the right places, you can get them for decent prices. And yeah, there's like there's even games for like £1, £2.50 on the store, which you can just go and try and have a laugh with, much like the PS Store. Their sales are really good, and if you wait for the sales, you can pick them up. There are also ways around the Nintendo Switch login where you can play your friends' digital downloaded games. So if you've got a friend both of who you have a good Switch library, also available for PS4. I'm not telling you heard it here or how to do it, but look it up online. It's fantastic. So with these sorts of things in mind, you can start to build up a bigger Switch library. And it's like I said, it's just so fun. Like I am currently balancing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Dark Souls 3 on the PS4 with Octopath, um, Children of Morta, Indivisible, and I just started Astral Chain on the Switch after just finishing both the Pokemon games. There is a big difference in those categories. These are big, chunky, 50, 60, 70 hour games. You're wanting to play these when you've got 5 or 6 hours at a time to really get through them. Whereas the Switch, I mean, Octopath, I have wanted. It's got a good storyline. It's you want to play a few hours at a time to remember what's going on, but most of the time you can pick up for a couple of hours and let drop it, like any of those games you can. I think it's almost like the fun Japanese nostalgia element versus the more serious, big not technological Japanese element. Both awesome Japanese. But I love having both. I will never not have both of these consoles now. I mean, like I feel like when Nintendo upgraded to their next console, because I'm obviously going to get the PS5 regardless, as long as I've still got a job. But when the Switch upgrades, I'm going to get the next Nintendo because I don't want to miss out on Nintendo consoles now. Everyone I've had, I loved. I didn't have the Wii U, but I've had, the N64, the GameCube, and the Switch, and the Wii. How can I forget the Wii? And I've loved all of them, so I don't know why I'm constantly like I have to be PS only because there is a place for both in my life, which sounds extreme, but it can be the same for you. So basically, I'm just saying to you, if you're still on the fence about getting a Switch, don't be. Um, I've been putting the same amount of time into both. Sometimes I just don't want to play the PlayStation. The Switch is perfect for if you want to stick some cartoons on in the background and mess around with some games. There are other games where you want to get completely immersed, which is also fine because you can put your headphones in, you can play it on the big screen. I am using the docking a lot more than I thought I would. Sometimes I've just got the controller with a little screen on my lap just because it's more fun and kind of different and lighter, more comfortable than playing it as a handheld. So I love all these different ways of being able to play it. I like that Pokemon Let's Go, you only use one controller and you're like throwing and all this sort of stuff. I do want to try and find more games which are motion capable, but I've heard there aren't that many. But I will research that and because I think they're quite fun. Like for example, do you remember Red Steel on the Wii? That was amazing, and I want something like that. Or the House of the Dead games would be great. So here are quickly some recommendations of Switch games that I've played, which I think are pretty much unmissable. I must say, I'm on the fourth Divine Beast and I'm still not loving Zelda Breath of the Wild. I don't know what it is. This game should be my perfect dream. It's all the fun Japanese stuff mixed up with something like Skyrim. It should be something I love, but it's just not. And I just don't really want to play it. I can't bother to do side quests. I find the world too big. I don't like that you can't call your horse. The physics are cool. Don't get me wrong. It's a cool game. It's got a cool storyline and everything else. But I think it's because I'm escaping to my Switch to get away from that sort of game because I don't want to play the big RPGs, and I come to the Switch and I want to play something turn-based or something simple. So I think that's why. Anyway, here are my favourite games I've played on the Switch so far. Both of the Pokemon games. Pokemon Shield is one of my favourite games of the last year actually, and it surprised me because I've mentioned it a million and one times. I really have. That I haven't played many Pokemon games since Blue. And then Shield came along and I got the Switch and I was like, actually, I haven't played a Pokemon game in a long time. I've read really good stuff. And it's awesome. It's so fun. I will not go through all that again because there's a video from a few weeks back. Go and watch that if you can. Well, not if you can, go and watch it. Now! So and Pokemon Let's Go is a different element. In the end, think I preferred Shield because it's got the old combat. You know, you do combat with everyone. It was a new story, but Let's Go is an amazing remaster, and it's one of the best remakes. I suppose it's a remake, isn't it? That I've played. I really enjoyed it. It made me feel like a kid, whilst also giving me enough element of the game to enjoy. So both Pokemon games are definitely on my recommendations. I mentioned it already. Octopath. I have put about 15 hours into this game in a week, which doesn't seem like a lot, but considering everything else I'm playing, it is, and it's just amazing. It is a classic JRPG turn-based system, but they have almost modified and enhanced the kind of classic battle screen. If you've played any recent years, you'll often play them where they've got like a wait line, and it shows you who's got to attack next. With this one, you can, if you expose the enemy's elements quick enough, you can break them and stop them from attacking their next turn, giving you the advantage of battle. But it's very tactical. It's you have to think about who you're putting in your team, about what abilities they have. You don't want to have two characters with the same abilities because it gives you less chance of attacking or getting advantage against less enemies. So I like how much thought. And there's 8 characters, and you play through all their stories chapter by chapter. So you start as one person, and you go and meet the other people, and you do all their chapter ones, and then when you level up a bit, you go and do everyone's chapter twos, etc., etc. And it's just awesome. It's just told really well. The combat's really fun. The world is really cool. And what I like, it does feel like if someone's grabbed an old turn-based game from the like NES or the Sega, and just launched it into this century. Um, because it has all that charm and the music and everything you want, but done in a modern kind of way. So that's a huge recommendation from me. Don't miss out on Octopath Traveler. And then indie games, the ones I've been reviewing. I reviewed Dandara ages ago. It's a really fun kind of Dark Soulsy Castlevania platforming game. Dark Souls the experience. You die, you lose experience, you have to go back and get it. Castlevania, Metroidvania in the way that you have to traverse and fight enemies. There's no other way of explaining it without you really going back and checking out a review or playing it yourself. But definitely a recommendation. Um, I've got to give Indivisible and Children of Mortar a shout out. Again, last 2 weeks I reviewed them, but they are genuinely great games. I'm not being paid money by the publishers to promote their games. Like, don't miss out. They're all 8s, 9s. With whoever you are, I think you're going to enjoy this game. If you like turn-based games, if you like platforming, all these games I am recommending you should go and check out on the Switch and keep your eye on the offers. You know. Well, that is pretty much my Switch versus PS4. Just kind of rambled at you there, but I hope you enjoyed it. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, head over to our website. We have now added officially a wrestling part of the website. If you like wrestling, there's music, there's TV, there's all sorts of stuff we cover on there. And if there's anything in particular you want us to try and cover, or me to cover in particular, just let me know and I will. I'll do my best. Thanks for watching as always, and good night.